Hello, everyone, and welcome to this weekly global heart meditation. I'm Gabriel Gonsalves, your host. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about the alchemy of love. You heard me right, the alchemy of love. And what does it have to do with the current situation that you may be going through right now? And then after we explore this topic for about 15, 20 minutes or so, we'll dive into a guided meditation designed for what? Well, to activate this process of alchemy that happens, I believe, within the heart, the alchemy of love. Welcome, everyone who's showing up here in the live conversation. Welcome, and Marie Sanctuary of Reiki in Chicago. Oh, you guys are freezing here. People in Texas, I hear, are getting snow or having power shut down also because apparently the grid is not being able to hold the extreme weather conditions you guys are experiencing right now. Hello, Catalina, Thurston, and over in Austin. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Amanda from South Africa. And everybody else that's joining us just now. Beautiful. How are you? Where are you in the world? I'm always intrigued who shows up for this weekly guided processes. And how are you doing, more importantly? How are you? How are you feeling today in the middle of this week? Hello, Tina in Denmark. Hello, Fernanda, Toronto. Sarantula, Bright Mirror. Oh my goodness, I can know. You have a very long name. From Greece. Hello. Harris, San Diego, sunny San Diego. I wonder what the weather is like in San Diego. Are you guys getting snow as well? Hello, Shell. Hello, Susan. Hello, Travel. Welcome. Welcome. So as I was speaking at the very beginning, I wanted to bring the awareness to this topic of the alchemy of love. Hello, GF. Girlfriend. Hello, Sue. Welcome. Michigan. More people from Michigan. Oh, goodness. Most people are in the north where it's still quite cold, even though I have to say that I was very surprised. I went out for a walk just before this process, and I was surprised how warm it is outside here in Granada today. I was also quite moved because one of my favorite stores is closing down, and everything was being pretty much just sold for about 50% off. And also, at the same time, I could see a lot of places that were closing down. Now, the paradox of this whole thing, and I think some of you may relate to that, is that at the same time, there is a whole bunch of new businesses sprouting everywhere. And it's almost as if some people are anticipating that this current circumstances is on its way out somewhat. We're coming to the end of a stage in our relationship with this thing that we call the pandemic. And it's almost as if people are starting to prepare for the post-pandemic era. And so I can see a lot of signs of a lot of new life emerging here in the city, and that excites me. And that brings me to the topic I wanted to bring to your attention today, which is this process of alchemy. Alchemy is a term used to define some kind of a transformational process. It is originally referred to as the art of alchemy, which in ancient wisdom and in our tradition and in many of our mythology refers to the art of turning lead into gold. Taking this heavy, thick, gray metal and transforming it into something very precious and beautiful, of incredible amount of value. Now, what I find very contrasting today was this idea of the old, what's on its way out, coexisting with the new, what is emerging, what is being birthed right now. And so I want to ask you, do you feel right now that you're walking in between two worlds? Do you feel this time is almost like you're going through this process of healing, surrendering, letting go of things that you've once valued and were very important to you, but now you get a sense of it doesn't excite you anymore. It doesn't appeal to you. It's no longer an expression of who you are. And yet at the same time, there are new things you want to do, new experiences that you want to have. And so you are now almost like you have one foot in one reality and the other foot in the other reality. And you're kind of wondering like, okay, which is the one that it's going to stay or solidify? Well, if you agree with what I'm talking about, you are in essence experiencing the process of alchemy, of transformation. The science of alchemy, as I was saying earlier, is the process of turning lead into gold. And the only reason that is possible for the alchemist is because no metal in its natural form is 100% pure. Within the lead, there are tiny little particles of gold. And so the alchemist knows and understands this. And so what the alchemist does is he or she would bring their focus, their awareness, their energy, and starts to focus on those tiny little particles of gold that are in the lead. And then as they get energized, they start radiating this energy that begins to immediately draw towards it, magnetize all the other little particles of gold that also exist in that same piece of lead. Now, these particles begin to come together. And as they start to come together, they start to vibrate together. And as they start to vibrate together, their power, their resonance, the magnetism begins to change. And then as a result, the molecular structure of that lead begins to change until by resonance, the art or the process of resonance, the whole thing then becomes gold. And so there is a time, there is a moment when there is gold and there's lead. And then as the gold gets energized, it begins to outweigh the lead until the whole thing turns into gold. Now, this is no different than the process that a butterfly goes through when a butterfly in its stage of a caterpillar starts to feel sluggish and dormant and no longer excited about life, and then begins to lock itself into a cocoon where suddenly these imaginal cells, right? They are the cells that contain the butterfly. The new cells begin to emerge. And what do the imaginal cells do? Well, just like the gold particles in the lead, they start calling each other. They start attracting each other, magnetizing each other. And then as they start coming together, they start to vibe together. And then the vibration of the butterfly begins to grow and increase at the same time, cohabitating with the caterpillar cells that are in there attacking it, saying like, who the hell are you to come in here and take charge? And of course, the imaginal cells are like, well, we're the new you. We're here because we are in a process of shift and change and transformation. And so there is that period of time where both the caterpillar and the new cells of the butterfly are living together. And obviously, it is designed by nature. The cells of the butterfly begin to grow in strength and number. And not only that, they begin to consume and use the caterpillar cells as juice or soup or food to nurture themselves until all there's left is just butterfly cells. And then these butterfly cells, just like the gold in the alchemical process, end up giving birth to the most incredible, beautiful thing. And so if you are right now feeling like you're navigating two worlds, like new things have started to emerge, but at the same time, the old is not quite gone yet, you still find yourself dealing and weighted down by it, it simply means you are just like the butterfly. You are navigating the very challenging stage where the new you is cohabitating with the old you that is on its way out. And so which one is ultimately going to win? Which is the one? Well, obviously, the new you. The truth is, you have no choice but to move forward with the universe, with the will of the divine that is seeking for you to grow, to develop, to unfold to the next stage of your life. The planet, the galaxy, the universe is expanding at an alarming rate. And so if you're not expanding and growing with the universe, you're actually shrinking. Now, what will help you navigate this process, in my experience, is one and only one and uno thinggo, coso. All right, what is that? You may be wondering. Compassion. La compasión. Compassion. It's the only thing. Compassion is an expression of love that basically says, I'm here, I'm present to the pain, to the suffering, to the discomfort, and I'm not going to leave you alone. I'm going to be with you through this confusion, through what you're experiencing, and hang out with you until we get through this together. That is the essence of what compassion is. That's what the Christ consciousness represents within us, the aspect of ourself that is unconditionally loving, always present, there, available, being the witness and even ushering the new awareness that is being birthed. So what I'm inviting you in essence is to activate this part of yourself that we're going to call compassion through the heart, so that you can be in the middle of these two worlds, the new reality that is emerging, the one that is still existing, that you haven't been able to transcend, release, and surrender yet, so that you can be with that part of you that is the caterpillar, that is leaving, the part of you that is doing the all things the all way, but is no longer getting you anywhere. It's not even deriving you any sense of satisfaction. What used to work is no longer working for you. So that bringing compassion to that part of you that is dying, so that you can be with that part of you that is the caterpillar, and be with that part of you that is confused, that is feeling emotionally stressed, mentally fatigued, lost, and be there with that part of you and offer that part your unconditional love and say, yeah, I know you're in pain. I know you feel alone. I know you feel disconnected. I know a lot of things don't make sense right now, but I'm here and I love you and you'll get through this. And I'm not going to leave you alone. And you can, at the same time, while you're doing that for yourself, for that part of you that is dying, you can also be with that part of you that is emerging, that is still a baby, that is like a tiny little 2-year-old that's just learning how to walk. And you can be like, yeah, okay, your legs are getting stronger. All right, you woke up, now it's time to get out of bed and start taking some baby steps and start creating a new vision for your life and start developing these new habits. And you missed yesterday, not a big deal. Okay, I still love you. I am here. You're growing new muscles so that you can be with the butterfly when the butterfly wings are still weak and haven't really fully developed. Okay, notice that the butterfly uh, takes its time after it comes out of the cocoon. It doesn't quite come out of the cocoon and then suddenly it's like flying, right? It comes out of the cocoon and then slowly begins to unfold its wings. And then it begins to get used to the new balance, because having this huge pair of wings on each side it's a completely new, different feeling, right? Now you got to balance yourself as a caterpillar. Like, you didn't have to worry about it. You're always balanced. But now you get these two things and you're like, whoa, how do I deal with these two things? Well, that requires a new skill, a new awareness. You got to develop a new sense of balance and harmony with everything. With a caterpillar, everything was like here and very close, and you were looking down into the ground. But now, as a butterfly, your eyes can see much more. You can see as far as the horizon. You can see much more. And so there's a sense of you're bigger than you were before. And so you're getting used to new senses. You're getting used to a new way of being. You're getting used to a new you. So compassion is the only quality, virtue of the heart, in my book, that will allow you to be with both the caterpillar in you that is on its way out and all the discomfort and confusion and grief and guilt and shame and everything that comes with that. And then at the same time, be with this new version of you that is emerging little by little, the new habits, the baby steps that you're taking, and sit there with both of them and love these two parts of you equally. There was a time for you to be a caterpillar, and it was beautiful and perfect and wonderful. Nothing wrong with that. And it's just now time to be a butterfly. That's it. And then there will be a time when this butterfly will get older and will lay some eggs, and then these eggs will become caterpillars, and then the caterpillars will go through this exact same transformation process, alchemical process, and it will be a never-ending process. The next stage you're going to be moving into, you will also at one point outgrow it. We'll have to release it, surrendering. A new age will be ushered in, a new version of you will emerge, and so until eternity. Powerful. In many of the New Age philosophies, you often hear talk about the distinction between the third dimension and fifth dimension. Well, it's the same thing, right? It's just a fancy dimensional metaphor to explain the exact same thing, right? As a caterpillar, there's only like 3 dimensions or like 3 directions that you can move. But as a butterfly, you have access to more dimensions. And that's really what is really happening. We are all being upgraded. Our DNA is being upgraded. More love, increased Christ consciousness energy is inhabiting the cells of our bodies. We are becoming more crystalline. I would like to say Christ-like. Really, it's another word for saying Christ-like, more divine-like. And then as a result, then we're becoming more and more and more multidimensional. We're expanding. We're starting to see things that were there. A lot of things that were hidden from us are now coming up to the surface, and we're now able to see with a clear pair of eyes. So with this as an introduction for today's guided meditation, let's activate this inner sense of compassion within ourselves. I invite you to put one or both hands to your heart center. And as you bring this inner awareness to the center of your chest, would you imagine that you have a tiny hole in the middle of the chest, right where your heart is, and that you're breathing straight in and out of the heart? And for the next few moments, begin to establish a deeper connection with your heart. The heart behind the heart, the spiritual heart, what the Lakota Sioux would refer to as the Shanta Ista, the single eye in the heart. In the Hindu tradition, is referred to as the little castle where Brahma lives, the sacred heart of Christ. This inner temple, and the Sufi tradition is referred to as the man behind the heart, the man that lives in the heart. Energize the heart. Breathe slowly, deeply, and evenly into the heart. Allowing the breath to become nice and slow. Allowing the breath to become nice and deep. Breathing through the heart, and then imagine that the breath expands to the arms, the legs, the head, almost as if you were one of those inflatable dolls that is being inflated. Energize. We activate now the feeling of compassion. So, would you bring into your mind's eye a time in your life when either you or someone that you know acted with compassion? Or perhaps simply bring into your mind's eye the figure, the presence of a divine being that is an expression of compassion to you. The important thing is that you feel the feeling of compassion. If whatever image you're working with doesn't activate the feeling, then choose something else. Again, the important thing, the alchemy of the heart, begins when you start feeling the feeling. Notice what compassion begins to feel like in the body as you start feeling the feelings of compassion. Allow this feeling of compassion to fully envelop your heart. Let your heart radiate this quality, this virtue. If you're working with the image of Jesus the Christ and his sacred heart, feel the compassion of the sacred heart of Christ. Look straight into the Master's eyes and feel his compassion for you right now. And then allow this feeling of compassion to radiate in every direction, all around you, encircling you in a sphere of compassion. Compassion is the feeling that in essence says, I am here present with you unconditionally through both pain and joy, through confusion and sadness. And I am holding you. I am with you, with your pain. I am with you always, as Jesus would affirm. See yourself held in the arms of compassion. Feel yourself embraced by compassion itself. Know that you can relax in the arms of compassion and rest in this unconditional compassion of the living Christ within you. See right in front of you two versions of you. See the caterpillar version of you that is slowly disintegrating, dying to its all self, in pain, confused, scared. And radiate your compassion to that part of you. Almost as if saying, everything's going to be okay. I love you. I'm with you always. I'm with your pain. I am compassion in me right now. Go ahead and say that out loud. I am compassion in me right now. Holding my old self, holding me. In my totality. Now imagine also in front of you the butterfly version of you, the one that is now emerging, the one that you know represents the next stage of your evolution. The person you've been wanting to be for a very long time. The artist, the creator, the healer, the entrepreneur, the leader. Whatever that may be for you, see that version of yourself. And say to that part of you, I am here. I see you. I am with you. I'm present to your pain, to your confusion, to your impatience, especially to your impatience. Ooh. What butterfly, knowing that it's got wings, doesn't feel impatient to go and explore the world, huh? Compassion is the part of you that says to the butterfly, I love you. I'm here. I'm with your frustration. I am compassion in me now. Affirm it. I am compassion in me now. See yourself, feel yourself in the middle of these two realities. The old you slowly dying to the new you, both of them coexisting in a temporary dance, because this is temporary. With compassion being like the lubricant, like being the softener, that which allows the process to unfold with greater harmony, ease, and flow. As you rest there in the middle, continue to affirm for yourself, I am compassion in me now. I am compassion in me now. I am compassion in me now. I am held in God's arms. I am held in God's arms. I am held in God's arms. In the name of the Father, the Mother, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. And speaking on behalf of everyone present here today and anyone who's watching this replay, I declare I am the presence of divine compassion in my heart, radiating all around me, offering a softening to my own suffering, confusion, depletion, fatigue. In God's arms, I surrender and let go of this all part of me, letting go of this resistance deep down at a cellular level, knowing that I am the presence of compassion in me now that is witnessing my own pain, suffering, and confusion. And I am the presence of the living Christ being activated in me right now, opening my wings, my eyes, my inner senses to a higher reality. I am the presence of divine courage to release and let go what is no longer serving me. I am the resurrection and the life of the living Christ in me, ushering a new awareness, a new way of being, one that is in greater alignment with who I really am. I am the presence of truth in my life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am compassion in me now. I am the light of the heart of God, the sacred heart of Christ, filling my heart, my body, my mind with divine compassion. I am the resurrection and the life of this new version of myself. I am held in the arms of God. And so it is. And it is so. Amen. Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to come together and unify our hearts in the name of compassion. May your infinite love and compassion for ourselves, our brothers and sisters, and all of humanity continue to grow and expand as increased light of the Christ consciousness continues to flood this planet, elevating the frequency of this planet into higher levels of integrity, compassion, and love. Thank you for the opportunity to be alive in this particular moment in our historical time. Thank you for the opportunity to be vehicles of compassion and for being here to hold a light of compassion for ourselves and others, that God may be glorified through our hearts filled with compassion. Amen. 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 I'd love it if you could make a mental picture, an emotional picture of what compassion feels like in the body. And then remember this very simple practice every time when you get caught up in the confusion of the caterpillar part of you that is panicking because it appears to be losing control. And at the same time, hold the exact same frequency and level of compassion for the new part of you that hasn't grown strong wings yet. Okay, they're still learning how to walk in this new reality, in this new version of yourself. Continue to affirm for yourself, I am the resurrection and the life, as a way to summon within you the divine forces and power of the living Christ within you, out of which then the new version of you, the butterfly, is emerging. Or as Susan Evans says, the new flowering of this consciousness is unfolding. All right, we've come to the end of our time together. My goodness, 40 minutes went by in a breeze. So thank you everyone for being part of today's Global Heart guided meditation. Remember, these guided meditations are here, archived. So if at any time you're feeling you want to come back to them and revisit some of the things we talked about, or even the practice, you can always come back and do them. So thank you, Veronica, Susan. I'll read some of the names here that I can. Fernanda, Denada, Ravette, Girlfriend, Shell, Shell, Zoo. Oh my goodness. Well, because of the guided meditation, I didn't keep up with some of the messages and the questions that came up. So I apologize for that. Deborah says compassion is a major key to all. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. You're welcome, Catalina, Cindy. All right. Well, love you. Have a fantastic rest of the week. Remember to be loving, gentle, and compassionate towards yourself. There are great things coming. I know that. I can feel it. Until the next time we meet, I send you all of my love from my heart to yours. Take care for now. Bye-bye.